Perfect. So yeah, welcome. So we're going to be talking about fundraising on this one tonight. And so we're joined by Sophie from Enthuse, who's going to talk through how to make the most of your fundraising page. And then we can talk about any fundraising ideas or concerns that you've got. We're here to help you and help you reach your target. Any sort of like marathon related questions, whether it's like training or at the actual event itself, we have got a session next Tuesday at 7 p.m. With Liz Yelling, and that's about, I wrote this down, about being race day ready. So if you've got any questions that you want to save for next Tuesday, then please do. But if you aren't able to make next week, you're welcome to email me some questions and I can ask on your behalf, and then sort of like let you know what the answers are. Obviously, we'll record it as well. So you can just watch the recording as well. So we've got Sophie here. So I will hand over to Sophie, and then she can do a presentation, but I will make you host, Sophie, so you can share your screen.
Thank you. And yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. It's great to be here. It's great. London Marathon is one of my absolute favorite days of the year. So I get so excited about it every year. And it's because of people like you who are doing it and who are fundraising for an amazing charity. So it's really exciting to be here. I'm going to give you a pre-warning. I've got a pet bird and a pet dog. So if you hear them in the background, apologies. I will try and keep them quiet. The dog is a French bulldog, so he's quite sniffly and snory. So I'll try and keep them quiet, but if you do hear them, apologies. But I have got some slides to share with you, and we can talk about all things fundraising. Okay. I can see if I can just do a portion of the screen. Great. Can you all see that? Excellent. Yeah. Let me just see if I can move things around. Okay, yes, super. So I'm going to be talking about everything Enthuse today and everything fundraising. So I'm Sophie Clark. I'm the commercial director at Enthuse. And hopefully you'll know by now that Enthuse are the official fundraising partner for the TCS London Marathon. I have actually been in your position before, and I know that running a marathon, doing all of your training, and it can also be quite daunting to do your training and fit your fundraising in as well. So as Becky said, we're really here to help you and get the most out of it. But before I do kick off, I've got a quick video to share with you as well, which just gives you a little bit of a story about Enthuse. It's presented by our founder and CEO, Chester, and how we became the fundraising partner. So if I go on to the next slide, this should play. 2 minutes.
I can't hear any sound, Sophie.
Oh, thank you for letting me know. So it is coming through on mine. How do I make sure?
I think you can share audio when you share your screen. You can share audio as well.
Thank you. Sorry, I normally use Google Hangouts, so let me see. Do you know if I need to, there we go, share audio. Let's let me know, let's try that again. Is that good?
Every year, gives away 182 trillion with nothing in return. Why do people give to charity? It's because they care, because they feel connected. Charity solves the problems that shouldn't exist. As a student, I started fundraising face-to-face in Melbourne in 2008, armed with a clipboard on the streets. I saw firsthand why people gave. This wasn't a transaction.
Sorry, Sophie, I think we've lost sound again. It could just be me though.
We lost sound again.
Yeah.
Sorry, let me try that again. Is that working now for you?
No.
No, still
can-
got it on my end.
Yeah, I can always send the link round, Sophie, in the
Super.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I'm not quite sure.
It's always tricky on Zoom.
We should be used to it by now, though, shouldn't we?
I know. 4 years later or something, we should be
Yeah.
pros at all of this stuff.
Okay. Well, yeah, if you can share that afterwards, that'd be really helpful. And let
Thank
me
you.
skip the slides. Great. So yeah, so it's a story about how we became the fundraising partner, but also gives a little bit of background into where we came from. We also work with thousands of other charities, supporting them with their own fundraising. Yeah, there's hopefully some names you know on there, as well as children with cancer. So I'm going to go through a couple of the top tips that we've got to make the most out of your fundraising. If you do have any questions as we go along, please feel free to interrupt me. But firstly, I just wanted to, I suppose, kind of let you know something as well. So at Enthuse, we publish a quarterly insights paper, which is called Donor Pulse. And this is where we ask the general public how they're feeling about donating to charities in general. And in September, we also asked about their attitudes towards giving to fundraisers, taking part in mass participation events. And there was some good news in the findings. And we actually found that donors actually do really want to give, and they want to support participants. Actually, 86% of people are happy to give, but when they're asked. So I think that's the important one. It's making sure that you do have the confidence to ask. And in fact, most people at 71%, they only get asked 1 to 3 times a year to sponsor somebody, which I don't think is a huge amount. And I know when it can feel quite daunting. And I think when I was in this position, I thought that everybody was constantly getting asked for donations and I was pestering. And I know that it feels like you're asking a lot from your friends and family, especially in the current economic environment. But it's really positive to see that people do want to give and they're not asked as much as you think as well. So yeah, don't be nervous about making the ask and about sharing your fundraising links because people do want to give and they're not asked as much as you might think. So I think that's quite encouraging. But experienced fundraisers, they also said that their top tips for other fundraisers is to get that word out to as many people as you can. So people are more willing to donate than you might think. So hopefully a bit of positive news there in terms of how people are feeling about giving to people taking part in mass participation events. So before you actually make that ask and you're asking people and sharing your page, you need to be really making sure that it looks as good as possible. So again, these are some tips to make the most out of your page so that when you are sharing it, it's looking really good and it's really encouraging people to make that donation. So firstly, make sure it represents you. So your page is already fully branded with all of the Children with Cancer UK branding and pre-populated with a bit of their story, but it's really about making it personal to you. So make sure you have added your profile picture, you've changed the cover photo, and told that story about what's motivated you to run the marathon and what's motivating you to fundraise for Children with Cancer UK. The more personalized you get it, the more motivated people will be to actually donate. Also, make sure that you've got your fundraising target on there. This is a really good way to be able to encourage people to help you to get to that target. Do be ambitious about it, but also if you're getting there or if you've already hit your target, there is nothing stopping you going in and actually changing that and increasing it. I know people who say that they want to be that final person who pushes them over the line to hit that target. So having that on there is really, really powerful to be able to get people engaged in your fundraising page. But also, it's a really good idea to actually donate to your own page as well. So it gives people the reassurance that you're committed to the fundraising as well. And from our experience, we've actually seen that fundraising pages that have self-donations, they raise 81% more on average. So that could really increase the amount of donations that you get if you're showing that commitment to your fundraising by making that donation to yourselves as well. But also really keep your fundraising page updated. So you'll be doing a huge amount of training at the moment in the lead up, and also you're probably doing some other fundraising activities. Let your friends and family know by adding that onto your fundraising page as well. So you can add photos, you can add stories, you can share when you've hit another milestone in your fundraising, if you've got to 50%, 75%, 100%. It's really important to be making sure that you're using that feature so that you're continuing to update that page, really again adding that personal touch. What I think is also really important is to thank your donors. So when you do get a donation on there, you often get a lovely message of good luck and support. You've also got the ability to be able to go in and make a personalized thank you to those donors. So you can say, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you at the finish line. But also then the donor or your friend or family who's made that donation, they'll get a notification to say there's a reply. So they can then, it's going to get them back to your fundraising page. And by that point, you might have added another story or another training update. So they might want to donate again. So it's a really nice feature just to be able to getting that additional engagement and keeping people coming back to your page. So that's some ways to make your page look really good so that you're ready to send it out and make that ask. But also, what might be really important is if you haven't done this already, is actually logging into your fundraising page so that you can make those changes and those edits. So in order to do that, just simply go to your fundraising page and then you can click on the drop down menu on the top left-hand side and then select login. So what that will do is that's going to ask you for your email address and then add in your email address and it'll send you a link directly, which will then have you logged in so you can make all of those updates. So it's really easy. You don't have to remember any passwords. I've got hundreds of passwords and different ones and I can never remember what they are. So it's just your email address that you have to remember. So you can log in and then make all of those changes. So going on to some pre-event tips as well. So now you've got your page really looking good. It's ready to share. The good days to share your page and ask for donations, we actually see the majority of the peak of donations coming in on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So these are the days that people are probably at work looking for distractions. They've come in and they're willing to donate to your fundraising pages. So do remember that when you're sharing them, Tuesdays and Wednesdays are good days. But also, you're doing a huge amount of training at the moment. You're out running in the long runs at the weekend, probably in the cold and in the rain. Let people know about it. So about that training that you're doing. So if you link your fundraising page to your Strava account, it will automatically update your fundraising page. So it keeps that page fresh and it's really showing the amazing job that you're doing, getting ready and doing your training. Being able to shout about that on your fundraising page is really important. And even more so, we see that it raises over about 45% more on average if those pages are linked to Strava. So it just keeps that page refreshed, shows what amazing work you're doing. But also there's other ways that you can fundraise rather than just making that ask. So I'm sure Becky's given you lots of ideas for this, but it's really about getting creative about fundraising activities, whether that's a bake sale, a quiz night, encouraging donors to make a suggestion to your Spotify playlist so you can listen to that when you're running. And then just make sure that you're adding those donations to your fundraising page as well. So that's going towards your target, and you can add those ones into your fundraising page. And I also know that Children with Cancer UK, they're also running another incentive as well, which is Beads for Courage. So Becky, I might hand over to you because you'll be able to talk about that in a little bit more detail. And I think this is a great way to add to your fundraising page as well in a story.
Yeah, of course. So we when did I email about this? Maybe a couple of weeks ago. But basically the Beads of Courage is a charity that we support. And they support children going through cancer treatment by giving them beads to mark different points in their journey. So it might be they get a bead for an overnight stay in hospital, or a blood test, or chemotherapy, or things like that. And they create these long sort of like lines of beads, and it really helps the children be able to sort of explain their story, and understand what they've been going through in this really challenging time that it can be quite difficult to understand. So for the London Marathon, we have a pair of London Marathon specific beads, and if you raise £1,000 before the 31st of March, then you can get a pair of beads to wear on the London Marathon, and you can tie them through your trainer laces or wear them on a bracelet or something like that, and then you get to keep a bead, and then the second bead is posted back. You'll receive a free post envelope as well, and that bead is given to a child going through their cancer journey. It's a really sort of like lovely part of being part of Children with Cancer UK and our team. And so, yeah, so just a sort of like little help to get you sort of over that line of £1,000. If you've already hit £1,000, then you'll qualify. It's not an additional £1,000 between now and the 31st of March. So yeah, but if you want any more info, have any questions about that, then just drop us a line or pop a message in the chat.
Thank you, Becky. I think that's lovely. That's so special, and definitely something. When you do hit that before the 31st of March, to add that onto your fundraising page to let people know. I think that's really lovely. So that's then pre-event, but we've also got this year the ability to be able to have your own QR codes, which will go directly to your fundraising page. So these are automatically created, and they're created on your fundraising page at the moment. And if you haven't seen them yet, there's a link there to just under where it says donate on your fundraising page. There's a button there which will create your QR code. So this is really, really useful if you are doing any offline fundraising activities, you've got or a bake sale or a quiz night, to then be able to print any of those off so that people can go directly to your fundraising page really, really easily and make a donation. So that's all available, and that will be set up on your fundraising pages already. And then finally, although we do encourage you to complete fundraising before the big day, it's really, really important to make sure that you still can receive donations on the day. So as part of the official partnership, the Enthuse fundraising pages are actually linked to the TCS London Marathon app. So I would encourage your friends and family to download the app before the day, so that when they're tracking you as you're getting to different milestones, this is a really, really nice way for people to be able to donate on the day really, really easily. I know I'm constantly on the app on the marathon day looking for everybody when they're going to be coming past me. So it's a really nice way to be able to get those fundraising pages in front of your friends and family on the day. And do start early and make sure that you've asked people to download it early, because we saw that most donations from the app came in between 8 and 9 a.m. on marathon day. So before we've probably even started running, people have started tracking you and they're making donations through the app. But also, It's not over once you've finished once you've crossed that finish line, although I'm sure most of you will be absolutely delighted and think it's all over. But we actually see that 15% of fundraising still comes in after the marathon. So it really does give you a reason to celebrate and maintain that momentum. So I'd encourage you to upload your finish line selfie with your medal to that fundraising page to really celebrate it, and let people know the amazing effort that you've done. And we'll still see those donations coming in afterwards. So do continue to push those fundraising pages after you've finished, and make sure you update them. So in summary, these are kind of top tips. So firstly, don't be afraid to ask. People are really willing to donate, as we've seen from our research into the general public. They don't get asked as much as you might think, but you do have to remind them, and you'd have to remind them quite a few times. And Tuesdays and Wednesdays are the best days to ask. Make sure you personalize that fundraising page. So tell your story, add your pictures, link it to Strava so you can show your training runs. And also don't forget to say thank you, a nice personalized thank you message. Use those QR codes for any in-person fundraising activities. So make it really easy for people to donate to your page on the day. Encourage friends and family to download the app so they can donate to you whilst they're tracking. Make sure you do that early. Between 8 and 9 is the busiest time. And then finally, don't forget to keep asking for donations afterwards, and definitely share your finish line, the picture on the finish line. And that is it for my top tips. If I stop sharing my screen, and then I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone's got any. I think there was a hand raised. Perhaps not.
Ian, did you have your hand raised for a question?
Sorry, yeah. Sorry, totally forgot it was me. When does the London Marathon app go live? Do we know?
Oh,
Because I have checked. I am constantly checking the app store, but I can't find it.
do you know what? That's a really good question, and I don't know off the top of my head, but I will be able to find out, and I'll pass that on to Becky if that's okay, Becky, and you can let them know. I'll find out for you. Sorry, I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Thank you.
I'm sure London Marathon will let you know when it has been released as well, so you can download it. But I'll see if we've got that information for you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Does anybody have any sort of like bits of fundraising that have worked really well for them, or have any sort of like concerns or questions that they want to ask myself or Sophie?
Can I just butt in
Yeah.
for 2 seconds? So for the first time this year, I applied at my local supermarket to do a fundraising day in there, and like I'm not like an asker, so I just stood there with my bucket and had like a little table and stuff with some collection tins, and just stood there. I didn't ask one person for money. And I stood there from 7 in the morning until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And people were so like just continuously putting in, and I've done £450. So it's a good one to like get in touch with your local supermarket to go and do one of them days. That was I found that quite good. And that was my first time. I think I see Adam, who's with the charity as well, he done it, which made me sort of like do it. But yeah, that's a good one if you need a little idea and you fancy standing there in the cold all day. It's a good one. I just thought I'd share that one.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people still have cash. Like you kind of think that it might be slightly more tricky, but actually,
yeah, I mean, this was 3 days. It was in the break between Christmas and New Year as well, so it was probably the worst possible time I could have booked it, but it turned out to be like the time of giving, I suppose. But yeah, it's a good one. But I've inquired about doing it again, so hopefully, yeah, that's my it's my little one for you.
Oh no, it's really good tip actually, because I think sometimes like when you feel like you're constantly asking people directly, is sort of exhausting,
Yeah.
those sort of like connections quite quickly. So actually thinking about other ways of being able to get some fundraising in is really important. And for a few hours to raise, £450 is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I got to the point where I feel like I'm asking the same people on my social media and stuff like that. And it wasn't, even though I know I've still got more than enough time to hit my target and maybe more, it's, you get to that point where you think that you're stalling and you're falling behind.
Mm.
But yeah, you get there, because I mean, over the past couple of fundraisers I've done, I always find you get more donations in the couple of days build up to the marathon. I think this time you see people think, oh, I'll do it closer to the time. But yeah, it does get there. You just got to bear with it and
Got to chip away, I think, as well. Break it down into smaller chunks as well, I think is always really helpful, instead of seeing it as this quite big number to reach. Just sort of like doing little bits always helps, definitely.
Yeah.
Vanessa, you've got your hand up. What will you ask?
Two things.
Oh, hi. I'm sorry, I can't figure out how to put my camera on, so I'm not being rude. Plus, we've just come back from a training run, so we don't look the best. The QR code that Sophie showed us, I was on my fundraising site at the same time, but I can't find it, how to do it. And we're holding a race night a week on Saturday to raise money for the charity. So we were going to put the QR codes on the tables of the guests. We thought that might be a good way of getting some extra money, but I couldn't find the QR code. So I don't know if Sophie could perhaps show me again how to do that, please.
Yes. Becky, can you allow me to share my screen again, and I'll just show you exactly where it is on the fundraising page.
There you go, that should work now.
Thank you. So I've just clicked on one fundraising page with Children with Cancer. I'm not sure if Adam's on this call, but he has done a fantastic job already. So once you've got your fundraising page up, it's clicking this button here. So you can, there's the ability to be able to share and get the link, and then that will then create QR code.
Perfect, thank you. I've just done it as you've shown us. So
amazing.
I've got another question, and I don't know if you'll be able to help or not, if anybody's done this before. For our race night, we've been donated a signed football shirt from a local championship football team, and we're thinking about doing maybe either a silent auction or a blind auction. Does anybody have experience in those, and which one you think would raise the most money?
And if there's a recommended app for doing this, if we did a silent auction,
and if there's an app that you know that might work helpfully for it as well.
Has anybody done something like this before? Got any experience in it? No, it might be something, Vanessa, I can email you about this.
Okay.
Maybe I'll have a little think and have a little look around. And maybe I can maybe we'll email about this.
Thank you. We just try and get the most that we try and do it the best, the easiest way for other people, I suppose.
Yeah.
But we're gonna give it out to people like who aren't going to be there at the race night, so we're trying to find a way that they can get their bids in if it's something that they want to kind of bid on, for us to get the most money.
Yeah, definitely make the most of that. Cool. I can I'll email you about that tomorrow.
Thank you.
That's all right. Ian, you've got your hand up.
Is there a way we can find out what target we did actually put down? Because I actually can't remember what I put down.
Yeah, I can find out for you. Do you want me to tell you now, or do you want me to email it to you?
No, you can tell me now if you want.
Let me find it.
Because I actually can't remember off the top of my head.
There we go. 2,000.
Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah.
Is that good news or bad news?
No, I just couldn't remember off the top of my head what I put down. That was all.
Good.
Just wanted to try. I was thinking in and around that area, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Good to confirm. Good to confirm. Rob, I can send you your target as well. And Michelle, I can see you popped in the group when you find out what colour sort of wave you're in and things like that. That will be closer to the marathon. From experience, I think it's around 3 to 4 weeks before the marathon, where you find out what your like start line colour is and your wave time and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, so that'll be closer to the marathon. Okie dokes. Rob, I'll send you your target, yeah.
Becky, sorry, one quick question. Obviously, I know when we completed the official confirming our places with the TCS on their page. I remember you if we had a Just Giving page, we could close the Enthuse one down. Is there any way that I could possibly go back and set up an Enthuse, or is it too late now?
I think we can reopen them, can't we, Sophie?
You can, yeah. So you'll be able to do that in the back office, Becky, but let me know if you can't, and I can do that for you tomorrow.
Yeah, cool. I'll have a little look at that, Ian. And that's actually a really good point, Ian, because even if you are using Just Giving, I would recommend keeping your Enthuse page. Because, like Sophie said about the race day donating option and stuff like that through the app, you know, you might get like £20, but it's worth it.
I was going to say my Just Giving just hasn't managed. I just haven't managed to get it off the ground. I think the only donation I've received is actually from the charity themselves.
Oh, the £5 that they do it up. Yeah,
my page just hasn't lifted at all. Okay. So, but yeah, if I can get my Enthuse reactivated, that'd be great.
Yeah, of course. I'll reactivate that and I'll send you the link to it.
That'd be
tomorrow. And then then you can sort of get it all updated like Sophie showed us. And
that's perfect. Thanks. Thanks.
Right. Perfect. Does anybody else have anything they would like to ask myself or Sophie while we're here? Rico, I can send in the email that I send around tomorrow with the link to this. I'll send around the link to our fundraising order page where you can order all of that kind of stuff. And it's free to order. We just ask that you cover the postage costs.
Okay, thank you.
But yeah, I'll include that in the email so everybody's got it tomorrow. Okay, thanks. If there isn't anything else, I will leave you all to your Thursday evenings. Thank you so much for joining. And for anybody that missed at the beginning, we've got another session next Tuesday at 7 p.m. And that is with Liz Yelling, and we will be talking about race day. So come prepared with any questions that you've got. If you can't make it, drop me a line and ask any questions and I can ask them on your behalf. And again, we'll be recording the session and sending the link to that round. So just let me know if you've got any burning questions for Liz that I can ask for you. And Michelle, yes, we will be at the running show every day. I can't remember the number of our stand, but I'll let you know. So come and say hi. But yeah, thank you everybody for joining. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday evenings and your weekends, and good luck with all your training. And yeah, good luck with all of your fundraising, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.